I did about a half a dozen town hall meetings across Indiana this last weekend. People of my congressional district, people of this state and this nation aren't happy. And it's not just what's in the bill. It's how they're trying to pass it. Liberals in Washington, D.C. are so desperate to pass their government takeover of health care that they're willing to trample on the historic rules of the Senate and even the Constitution itself to get it. Let me say that abusing the rules and the role of the United States Senate to advance your liberal agenda is wrong and contrary to the interests of the American people. Reconciliation has no place in the passage of legislation of this magnitude to the American people. It's never been done before, and it never should be done. But I haven't even gotten to the slaughterhouse rules yet. If reconciliation tramples on the rules of the Senate, the slaughterhouse rule tramples on the Constitution of the United States of America and insults the intelligence of the American people. A bill should not be allowed to pass the Congress if nobody votes for it, men and women. Article 1, Section 7 of the Constitution of the United States says what I first learned in a cartoon on Sesame Street: how a bill becomes a law. Didn't seem complicated to me. A bill becomes a law. It shall have passed the House of Representatives and the Senate. That's the only way a bill becomes a law. The American people deserve a straight up or down vote on health care reform on the floor of the House of Representatives. If they don't have the votes, they shouldn't pass the bill. The truth is, no matter what you see on TV, no matter the proud posturing and prognostications from the White House or the Congress, I got news for you. They don't have the votes. And I'm here today to tell you mostly just one thing. Right now, Democrats in Washington are fishing for a few more votes. But we got to make sure our congressmen from Indiana don't take the bait. Indiana may be all that's standing between the American people and a government takeover of health care. A couple of the votes they need right now, a couple of the holdouts right now, are from right here in Indiana. And they need to hear from you. You know, the fact that it all comes down to Indiana in March feels kind of right to me. Yeah. Hoosiers are used to coming through in a clutch in March. We're used to storybook endings and last-minute buzzer-beating shots. It's time for one more last-minute shot at the buzzer. Where's Bobby Plump when we need him? Truth is, I'm going to close here with a thought from a different Hoosier. It was 11 February 1861 when an Indiana farm boy who'd moved to Illinois was passing through this city on his way to assume the presidency. It was then that Abraham Lincoln spoke words chiseled on an obscure bronze plaque in this city today that I think speak to our time. It must have been one of those moments where the governor of Indiana was a little bit talkative. As near as I can tell from President Lincoln's very brief remarks, Governor Oliver P. Morton must have gone on and on about everything that Abraham Lincoln was going to do for the country. Probably a big, long introduction about everything that Lincoln would do to save the Union. But then Mr. Lincoln stepped to the podium and he said these words, and I quote, "I appeal to you to constantly bear in mind that it is not with politicians, it is not with presidents, it is not with office seekers, but with you is the question. Shall the Union and shall the liberties of the country be preserved? It is your business. If the union of these states and the liberties of this people shall be lost, it is your business to rise up." Abraham Lincoln spoke into that time in the life of his nation. When many were looking to him to solve the problem, he knew who could solve the problem. He knew the strength of this nation has never been in her treasury, has never been in her wealth or her natural resources. The strength of this nation has always been in the goodness, the decency, the generosity, the character, and the faith of the American people. And on that strength, we can depend today. So it's your duty, men and women. You fulfilled it today to rise up. In the last year in this epic battle, you've taken to the phones, you've taken to the airwaves, you've taken to the streets. But now is the time to redouble your efforts. Understand that this could all come down to Indiana. And I know with all my heart, America can count on Indiana. And let me say one last word, and that is, as you enter this fight in these waning hours, know that you will not fight alone. And I do not refer to those of us that will be on the floor and in the battle, but I refer to someone else altogether. This battle is not so much about mandates and taxes, about government and insurance. This is a debate about who we are as a nation. Whether we still believe in limited government, individual responsibility, personal responsibility. In short, liberty. Robert Taft said many years ago, liberty has been the key to our progress in the past, is the key to our progress in the future, and if we can preserve liberty in all its essentials, there is no limit to the future of the American people. And I would add, men and women, when you fight for liberty, recall that where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. And when we do freedom's work, we never fight alone, because freedom's work in this nation and on this earth is His work. Let's go to the fight, Indiana. Let's witness for America. And let's give them a health care reform built on liberty, an American idea. Thank you very much. God bless you all.